If I can make it, you can make it too.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the richest self-made women on the planet and diving into how they made their billions.
Her role is decisive. She is a very strong character.
Number 10, Linda Resnick. You might have some of her products in your kitchen right now.
Maybe I can make a difference if I use my business acumen to do something for mankind.
Resnick and her husband co-own the Wonderful Company, which is the parent company of Fiji Water, Wonderful Pistachios, Palm Wonderful, and several other brands. Combined, they give Resnick a net worth of about $6.3 billion. Resnick's background is in marketing, and her talents have been no small part of the company's success.
It's really important that your brand has a story to tell, but it has to be a real story.
In 2009, her flower brand, Teleflora, aired a Super Bowl ad that was voted one of the best of the year. And the Get Kraken campaign for Wonderful Pistachios landed a host of celebrities in the 2000s and 2010s. As Resnick herself likes to say, quote, "It takes a nut to sell a nut."
Don't look outside the box. The answer is within the box. And if you really study the problem, the answer will emerge.
Number 9, Ty Lee. Talk about the American dream. Lee was born in Bangkok, grew up in South Korea, and immigrated to the U.S. as a teenager. In 1985, she became the first Korean woman to graduate from Harvard Business School.
I had to save enough money to get enough tuition to study in a business school. So 3 years later, with $25,000 in savings, I came back to Massachusetts and went to Harvard Business School.
In 1989, she and her then-husband bought a small, struggling software company. They renamed it SHI, and over the next several decades, they expanded it into a multi-billion-dollar international IT and cybersecurity operation.
Because we weren't able to raise money, all of our growth over the last 29 years had to be organic, and that gives a company a certain amount of discipline.
Lee and her husband divorced in 2002, but she's still co-owner, CEO, and president of the company. SHI is now the largest woman-owned business in the United States, and Lee boasts a personal net worth of around $7 billion.
The largest technology solution providers in the world, and the largest woman and minority-owned business in the United States.
We're at SHI, all this and so much more.
Number 8, Denise Coates. She built her fortune on a huge gamble, literally. Coates is the co-founder and joint CEO of Bet365, a British online gambling company.
She holds 50% shares, thus taking half of it. To put that into context, the salary and dividend together would put her slightly ahead of Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple.
Her family previously owned a couple of betting shops, but in the early days of the internet, Coates saw the potential in online betting. She founded Bet365 in 2000, and it quickly grew to become one of the biggest sports betting sites and virtual casinos in the world.
Before she became Britain's richest woman, she could be found on the edge of a car park in Stoke, where she started the global betting brand in the early 2000s. She had seen the online betting opportunity and the massive growth for it long before others had.
Today, it handles over $65 billion in bets every year, and Coates herself has a net worth of around $7.2 billion. However, she and the company have not been immune to criticism. Bet365 has been the subject of multiple scandals for refusing to pay out large winnings, among other issues.
The top 1% of earners in the UK make about £120,000 or more, so she's being paid 3,000 times more than the top 1%.
Number 7, Tatiana Kim. She founded a massively successful online store called Wildberries, which has been described as the Amazon of Russia.
Tatiana Bakalchuk, the self-made billionaire who founded Wildberries, the $5.9 billion in sales retailer, comparable to Amazon in the US.
But being the richest woman in the country still has its problems. In 2024, Kim divorced her husband and initiated a merger with a major Russian advertising company. Her ex didn't respond well to either of these events. Reportedly, he and his security team invaded Wildberries' Moscow headquarters and opened fire, killing 2 security guards.
This is a hostile takeover, or rather, an unsuccessful attempt. She added that she's appealed to law enforcement, quote, to take control of this situation.
However, the hostile takeover attempt failed, and both the divorce and the merger were finalized. The size of Tatiana Kim's fortune has fluctuated with the business, spiking to $13 billion in 2021 and settling at $7.4 billion prior to the merger.
Russia's richest woman effectively gave away a 35% stake in her company, worth an estimated $3.4 billion. Her net worth has dropped to $4.1 billion, from $7.9 billion.
Number 6, Judy Faulkner. Healthcare and IT are two of the hottest industries in America.
I took probably the world's first class in computers and medicine taught by Dr. Warner Slack. And he asked me to work with him and his team. And I said, okay. And did a number of projects. And they brought me in and said they wanted me to develop a system that would keep track of patient clinical information over time.
If you combine them into one business, you are going to make money. No one knows that better than Faulkner, who founded medical record software company Epic back in 1979. Today, Epic handles records for more than 250 million people around the world.
What the company does really is basically like the backbone of a hospital.
Plus, it has what might be the coolest corporate campus in America, full of buildings decorated in themes like The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and Harry Potter. Faulkner's current net worth is around $7.7 billion. However, she pours hundreds of millions of dollars into philanthropy, and in 2015, she signed the Giving Pledge, promising to eventually give away almost all of her fortune.
So they sent them home, and the software began to care for them, hooking up devices and sending the data back to the health systems. It was really a wonderful new way to help take care of patients, but at their home.
Number 5, Wang Laichun. Also known as Grace Wang, she's one of the richest women in China with a net worth of $8.6 billion.
这个我身上的这个责任，无论是对企业还是对行业还是对社会，我们还是一份责任更多一点。
After working for electronics manufacturer Foxconn for 10 years, Wang left the company to start her own business with her brother. In 2004, they founded Luxshare Precision Industry, which makes computer cables and Apple AirPods among other tech products.
Ever wondered who's behind the assembly of your favorite Apple products? Meet Luxshare Precision, a company that's making a big impression on the tech industry, and its CEO, Grace Wang.
With over $32 billion in revenue and more than 200,000 employees, Luxshare has been hugely successful. It turned Wang into one of the youngest female self-made billionaires in the world at just 46 years old.
陪同他们一起走过最艰难的时候，但是在工作中，我们毕竟还是有很多这个铁的距离。也许雌雄共体是对我比较好的形容吧。
Number 4, Zhong Huijuan. From middle school chemistry teacher to pharmaceuticals billionaire, she became the wealthiest self-made woman in Asia when her company went public in 2019. She founded Hansoh Pharmaceutical in 1995, which produces cancer treatments, antibiotics, and a range of other drugs. The business's value spiked again when it began developing COVID treatments in 2020. Zhong's husband runs a different billion-dollar drug maker, but currently, her net worth of $10.9 billion is just slightly more than his fortune of $9.3 billion. Zhong's daughter, Sun Yuan, is the executive director of Hansoh, meaning this family is basically royalty in the Chinese pharmaceuticals industry. Number 3, Zhou Qunfei. Another billionaire who made her money in tech, Zhou grew up in poverty.
先进制造业必须是集自动化、数据化，然后网络化于一体，投资门槛又高，科技含量也高。研发费用也高，人才需求也高。
She was the only one of her siblings who was able to attend high school, but she dropped out at age 16 to get a job in a factory. At 22, she founded a small company that made watch parts and later transitioned to producing cell phone screens.
我们传统制造业就是要跟他们网络是要联系在一起。
When the mobile phone industry began to boom in the early 2000s, Zhou started another company, Lens Technology, to respond to the demand. The timing could not have been better. Today, Lens Technology makes touchscreens for Apple, Samsung, Tesla, and other major brands, and Zhou boasts a net worth of $11.6 billion.
如果我们中国这个动作慢一点点，我相信我们就慢了很远。特别是像我们所在行业都属于信息产业。
Number 2, Diane Hendricks. Currently the richest self-made woman in America, Hendricks built her fortune through a roofing company.
You just start looking at the need, and over the course of 5-10 years, we realized that there needed to be a distribution chain to be able to offer to the customer, us, the contractor, the selection of various manufacturing products across the nation.
She and her husband Ken founded ABC Supply in 1982, and it's now the biggest distributor of roofing supplies, windows, gutters, and siding in the country. After Ken passed away in 2007, Diane began making acquisitions, scooping up a rival company in 2010 and a building materials distributor in 2016.
We did it because we knew there was a need in the industry, but we also knew that we had to build the best company with the best people we could find. And we did.
Since then, Hendricks' wealth has skyrocketed. Forbes estimated her fortune at $3.9 billion in 2017, and today it's nearly $22 billion. Hendricks has also dabbled in other industries, working as an executive producer on a handful of movies and TV series, and serving as an economic advisor to Donald Trump in 2016.
I've quadrupled the size of our companies. And to my surprise, I was recently just recognized as the most successful self-made woman in American history.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Rafaela Aponte-Diamant. She was born in Palestine and grew up in Switzerland, and she met her husband during a trip to Italy. He was a boat captain and she was a passenger, which is fitting since they would go on to make their fortune in shipping.
Over the years, MSC grew into one of the largest shipping firms in the world. In 1988, they expanded into cruises with the acquisition of the liner Monterey.
They bought their first ship in 1970 with a $200,000 loan. Today, their business, Mediterranean Shipping Company, or MSC, is the biggest shipping line on the planet.
They are the largest privately owned cruise line in the world. They are part of the larger Mediterranean Shipping Group, a leader in container shipping and logistics.
The Apontes also run MSC Cruises, which is the world's largest privately owned cruise company. As 50% owner of MSC, Aponte-Diamant's fortune is estimated to be worth $36.8 billion.
Despite not having a formal position in the MSC empire, Rafaela has played a key part in the company's growth, according to Dominique Denat, who loaned the Apontes the money to purchase their first ship in 1970.
If you got rich, which industry would you make your fortune in? Let us know in the comments.
The outlet gave an in-depth look at Tay's finances and road to billionaire status, even crediting her as one of the few recording artists to build a 10-figure fortune almost entirely from her music.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.